Alright, I'm back. So, last time we started enacting tenant farmers at the cost of losing to go, thanks to a war. Sadly, yeah, Eternal Monarch has fired. The Eternal Ruler has fired. So for the next several decades, I'm gonna have extra rigidity. The only way to get it to go lower is losing a war, or well, being stably at 0 war support. So I'm going to be stuck for a while. This doesn't help that a lot of locations that have barracks are now training away at the construction sectors first. It's extremely annoying. There's nothing I can do about that specifically. And while I do have huge amounts of population available, qualifications is a very serious issue. I can only grow things so fast, especially in focusing states. And France is extremely hostile, so that doesn't matter. I have to wait for tenant farmers to finish anyway. If I cancel the law project, bad stuff happens. I won't be able to start it up again, and then all that mess would be for nothing. I just need to go through the long process of waiting almost 300 days every cycle and hoping it hits a 45% success every time. Pretty much the only other thing I can do is drop the bolstering of the peasant movement, but that would lower the success chance. Or I can get rid of the road maintenance. Yeah, actually the road maintenance is a good idea. Oh, that was lucky. It's 280. First International is coming soonish. Oh, and the Ottomans are falling apart. They're only a major power now. They're probably gonna fall into unrecognized status soonish. Okay, that would cost that much. How about... no. You know, I would actually expect you to try to push your power block embassy on me, but... oh, Lincoln's president. That's pretty early, though. There is a liberal movement. Do I actually have any liberal consciousness? Oh, I do. What? What's that? Research and literacy rate. And also because I'm starting to build up liberal buildings. Yep, financial districts, universities, trade centers. There, the vote will push through, almost certainly. May accept. Yep. Movement, stack full, advisory opinion. It's maxed out, and old age. How old is he now? 76. That's the year. French Senegal now exists. That really slows down the colonization speed here, but yeah, I don't think I can set up any colonies. Sad. Really could use copper. I guess I'm not gonna be able to get it on my own. What? It's supposed to be at maxed out. We're on adoption. The heck? Ugh. If I bolster the movement, it will hit 19%. Supposedly. I don't see that number changing, so. Starting to get some people in the modernization movement too. As we already are with the liberal movement. What happens if I bolster you? 10%. That's the estimate. There we go. Ah. That took longer than it needed to. Anyway, time for easy mode. liberal stereotype here, or is it just the liberal movement getting stronger? It's probably just the liberal movement. Ah, we've got distillation. Good, there were no issues in the process. This means that there should be no issues to reaching the end. Law project. At least for now. I am not letting France go scot-free. Oh, I've got migration controls now too. So close borders. Oh. By foreign experts. Well, the aristocrats ate it, so it's not happening. Click button, get new thing. Style strings, institutions, censorship. Spain got involved. Okay. Oh, so that's what happened. French Senegal was decided to go for independence. Well, Catalonia's gone. As is Valencia. Those are gonna go to France. Wait. Shoot! I did that wrong. I did this back in October, right? Jeez. So I don't know how to use the console to change things around. Oh, come on. Why do you not want a power block? Hmm. Well, Ghana's gonna be isolated, but that's fine. They can do reasonably well on their own. There we go. Mass media is unlocked, so I can start setting up the media industry. This one's a bit of an odder one with how it works, but it's not that big of a deal. Just need to ensure that there's enough mass media content. I am importing some, but that's probably part of the reason why the university isn't doing that poorly, with the penalty. Definitely want to bring in more if I can. Let's build 2 of them and get another sort of 5 universities. The more universities I can sort of, the better my tech will be. It's pretty important that I do that. Fine. The thing is that it's inconsistent over whether or not the petition actually works. Leaving. Okay, the reformist socialists. No, I need for the. Yeah, it's weird. They kept traits. There we go. The First International. The early socialist movement did not grow from one united tradition, but converged as a mishmash of distinct philosophies, all vaguely oriented toward a radical end. By the mid-19th century, it became clear to all involved that the patchwork nature of the movement was untenable. Thus, the International Working Men's Association, known retroactively as the First International, was founded as the first serious attempt to unite the various flavors of socialism around the world. One element of success they possess, numbers. The numbers weigh in the balance only if united by combination and led by knowledge. Past experience has shown how disregard of that bond of brotherhood, which ought to exist between the workmen of different countries, and incite them to stand firmly by each other in all their struggles for emancipation, will be chastised by the common discomfiture of the incoherent efforts. Karl Marx, 1864. Trying to increase the social influence. Get the government petition through. Hailing from a wide range of traditions, the members of the First Internationale are not quite as united as some would hope. Their disagreements largely coalesce around two factions: the anarchists, led chiefly by Proudhon and Bakunin, and what the anarchists refer to as sadist socialists, including Marxists, Owenites, Blanquists, and Republican nationalists of various nations. Treasuring fiery polemics as much as they cooperate, their disputes threaten the very existence of the coalition. The Internationale only then can become a weapon for liberating the people when it frees itself, and does not permit itself to be divided into two groups: a big majority, the blind tool of an educated minority. That is why its first duty is to imprint upon the minds of its members the science, philosophy, and policy of socialism. Mikhail Bakunin, 1869. Oh, the liberal movement is relevant enough to become a revolution. Thing is, the combination of the two can in fact do some things for me. Largely economic system reform. Anything else is too much. Unless I can get distribution of power. Yeah, I mean, the combination of the two might be able to push me towards oligarchy. Might. It's a minor change, and it would lower the activism somewhat. Thing is, it's 2 steps. Okay, so it's gonna do quite a bit. The anarchists. Even among themselves, the anarchists of the early socialist movement were hardly a united front. The 2 main currents of anarchism were represented by Proudhon, whose mutualism promoted a society of free exchange, and Bakunin, whose collectivism pushed for the full abolition of private property. In practice, they were primarily concerned with opposing hierarchical party discipline in favor of free and organic association, while stressing the value of direct deeds. Not from the bottom to the top, by imposing a seeming unity and order on human society, as the state attempts, without regards to the differences of interests arising from differences of occupation. On the contrary, the Internationale organizes the masses from the bottom upwards, taking the social life of the masses, their very real aspirations as a starting point, and encouraging them to unite in groups according to their real interests in society. Bakunin, 1869. A great molasses. Radicals. More than please. Party Socialists. The other side of the First Internationale consisted of a diverse set of socialists, pejoratively known as statists by the anarchists. Unlike the anarchists, they attempted to participate in bourgeois politics as well as economic struggles, either to achieve reforms or to advance class consciousness for future revolution. To the more radical members of the statists, this name was a slanderous epithet. While they rejected anarchism as such, they nonetheless held the abolition of the state as a necessary goal for socialism. More accurately, they differed from anarchists most in their preferences for parties. One should never believe that it is of small significance to have workers in parliament. If one stifles their voices, or if one ejects them, the reprisals and oppression exercise a deep effect on the people. On the other hand, they can speak from the parliamentary tribune, as do Bebel and Liebknecht. The whole world listens to them. Karl Marx, 1871. It depends on how much support they can eventually muster. I'm waiting. Someone's stuck or something. Over the course of their many confrontations with the anarchists, the socialists seem to have uncovered evidence of a secret anarchist alliance acting within the ranks of the Internationale. Such sectarianism, they claim, threatens the integrity of the Internationale and violates its founding rules. On the other hand, some believe that this is merely an excuse to sideline the anarchists for entirely ideological reasons. The alliance, which considers the resurrection of the sects a great step forward, is in itself conclusive proof that their time is over, for if initially they contained elements of progress, the program of the alliance, in the toe of a Mohammed without the Quran, is nothing more but a heap of pompously worded ideas long since dead and capable of only frightening bourgeois idiots or serving as evidence to be used by Bonapartists or other prosecutors against members of the Internationale. The resolutions. The drama over the anarchist secret alliance has come to a head. A faction of radical socialists have put forth a series of resolutions to, among other things, declare the necessity of a proletarian party to expel the anarchists for factionalism within the Internationale. Do the resolutions pass? Yes. Socialists. Across our nation, an egalitarian movement is growing. Driven by the stark inequality evident in our growing cities, the socialist movement seeks to democratize society from the ground up. The socialists are diverse in their strategies, from founding independent communes, to sweeping reformism, to organizing popular resistance and revolution. The movement is young, but it has already become a specter that haunts the powerful and emboldens the common man. There is a tyranny, I know, far more difficult to elude or shake than that of a Nero or a Tiberius. It is the tyranny of circumstances. It is born of a corrupted social order. It is composed of ignorance, poverty, neglect, bad example, mental sufferings. The present state of things, it is thought perfectly clear and intelligible that everyone is free to ruin himself in order to ruin another. Louis Blanc, 1839. Thanks to this, I'm slowly obtaining egalitarianism in labor organization, despite not doing anything about it. Wow, the Second International is moving fast. Stop bolstering. Maybe some of those people in the peasant movement will move to the liberal movement. Oh. Hi. Yeah, things might get unstable. I wonder, is it perhaps enough? Ooh, that's gonna be difficult. Okay, social influence is starting to increase. Negative monarch popularity. That's not gonna work, that's isolated. Great, now Chan is a tumor. French tumor of all things. Ugh. There we go. Yeah, another change that happened with Tekken Res is that iron tools requires common ores. Slightly less iron, yes, to keep things balanced, but it still takes common ores, which is quite rough and can severely impact your abilities. Keep getting modernizer agitators, but none of them stick to the modernization movement. It's annoying. Okay, what was I thinking of? Oh yes. Start using dyes. And I'll have this one with the lathes. It's not great because common ores is not something I produce much, and I don't have tool production here. I will, don't you worry, but I've got to be careful because Hauserland is going to eventually run out of infrastructure. It hasn't happened yet, but it will eventually. At least the aristocrats are slowly losing clout, and the shift intervention has dramatically improved things. Especially the amount of political power that the average pop gets. Drifted around 25%. Huh. No education, absolute smart. Sadly, the liberal movement won't help me get any sort of education. It's gonna take a radical movement, or something similar. Hmm? Guarantee my independence, please. I'm not gonna transferdize. But I'll take this combo. I'll keep promoting new customs until the social influence increases dramatically. Right wing interest group. Radical right, or radical right. Fascist traditionalist. Autocrat, traditional power, or oligarch. Or theocratic. Moderate conservative. Authoritarian democrat. That would be the professional interests, actually. Nope, they don't have authoritarian democrat, just moderate. So that would be military interest, aristocratic interests, and the limo. Maybe it's business interests? No, they don't have a power stance, so... Second associates is gonna come quick, isn't it? It'll be a fairly early one. Rise of liberalism. Intellectuals and bourgeoisie alike have been drawn to a growing liberal movement in our nation, espousing reforms that push for constitutional governance and protection of property rights. Liberal thinkers have now organized and begun to exert direct pressure on our government. Morals are in all countries a result of legislation and government. They are not African or Asian or European. They are good or bad. Denis Diderot, 1774. Sure, let's bring them in. Yes, so this is the first of the ideological interest groups. Interest groups are split into two different types. There are the institutional interest groups, which are non-ideological. These are basically just important individuals or groups, though they tend to vary. For example, the aristocrats are obvious. We've got the ulema, military, businesses, the bureaucrats, professionals, villages. The trade unionists are, in each case, it depends on things. They tend to be the most powerful when political rigidity is high, because it means that things are extremely stable. And the most important bit is making sure that the right people get the right goods. Then there's the ideological interest groups, which tend to come up when, when political rigidity is low. That's when people start to become, the average person starts to become more and more interested in politics, and, well, naked power grabs become less and less acceptable. The socialists were one of them. These westernizers, which are the first ones to actually have an influence inside of my country, are another. Decrease to significant. Jeez. And they'll stick around for a while, too. It does look like they'll stick on 25%, so... Oh no. Thankfully, Russia's protecting me for now, although they might try to force me into the power block. I'd rather not because of the Sovereign Empire, and I could become forcibly... yeah. Integrated into there? No leverage. Okay, I don't know why they have no leverage, but I'll take it. Just want to see... someone died. Let me guess, it was the popular guy. No. Keep pushing harder. I can sway them. Yeah, if I do it in the same way, then they won't lose that. Oh, great, the general died. Gotta replace. Oh no, they're all aristocrats. Every single one of them is an aristocrat. The Dutch have no interest. Okay. Time to finally resolve the issue. Ooh. Oh. Is that all the... Maybe. Yes. Okay. We can build a new one. They get the perfect defensive roll. Of course they do. Finally. That should resolve a lot of problems. Of course. Every single one of them is privatized except for the Commonwealth line. Don't want to reduce in size it. Oh well, I've got sulfur. That's what's important. Definitely might need to think about starting to get a consumption tax set up. Anyway, Keep strengthening that dialectic. It is nice to see how the liberal movement is growing with leaps and bounds. Oh, 29%. Yeah, it is quite good. Liberal consciousness constantly increasing, thanks to my own efforts in building up the universities. The country will reform. It's just gonna take time. Lots and lots of time, especially considering how bad things still are, but I've gotten rid of most of the laws that increase rigidity. Not all of them. I still have monarchy and tenant farmers, but tenant farmers is a tough one to get rid of. And monarchy is... Whew. I need a radical group of some kind to get them in. Anyway. Things are looking good. I've gotten to I've gotten to protectionism, interventionism, and I'm going to oligarchy. Though, admittedly, I'm doing things that aren't exactly 100% intended. I started as the same week as I had obtained interventionism, which guaranteed that the liberal movement will continue to support this. Of course, that fast of a reform pace tends to cause potential issues with the happiness of... Yeah. Especially since the aristocrats aren't particularly happy about this sort of thing. They like traditional power. It's gonna be awful trying to get off of our dairy bureaucrats, isn't it? Elected bureaucrats would be so much more fun, but it's gonna take a while. Oh well, there's only so much I can do. But yes, the modernizer debates are raging, which I'm using in order to bolster dialectics. Which is why I have this much progress in it. Okay, focus on banking and then go for finishing dialectics. I will get a totalitarianism thanks to the international's effects. Go for romanticism as well. Maybe Central Archives? I need to do production first though. But yes, having tier 3 censorship really does help with bolstering the liberal movement. Without it, they would be much lower in support. Supposedly they're going to reach 29%, but I'm not entirely sure how accurate that is. It's still going to take a while. Now it would be great if I somehow managed to move to Supreme Legislature, but no one supports that. Well, the aristocratic interests are against it, but that's it. And the aristocrats are falling apart in their strength, which is amazing. It certainly means that I am a few steps closer towards, I don't know, colonial affairs. At this point, it's slowly no longer mattering. I fully admit, it's just too slow, the reform pace. Even if I get started here, France is just going to fill in Volta before I can even hope to reach eastern Mali and conquer the rest of this area. I basically just need to wait around and see if I can get a good opportunity to invade Senegal without, well, France interfering. Not a chance of that happening, unless Senegal somehow gets its independence, or starts acting in an independent manner. I might be able to abuse that, maybe? Probably not, though. Probably not. Sadly. Oh well. Anyway, I'll see you again next time. Till then.